Okay, live. Sunday live. Here we go. Okay, all right. Let's get you guys in here. It is a Sunday night. We are talking about the snow moon and winter burnout and your nervous system. So, there's lots going on. Lots going on this week. A lot of people are talking about they're tired, they're not sleeping well, they're just not feeling good. And I know I'm feeling it. I know I've got some hot tea here for my throat, so hopefully I'm gonna make it through. I didn't go anywhere today. I actually Instacarted groceries because I did not feel good. My throat feels like it's like kind of swollen. So I've just been laying low and relaxing and trying to get this throat under control. So, all right. So we've got the snow moon, winter burnout, and the nervous system. Why is this so important? I'm going to tell you all a story. Let's start with the story. So last Sunday was a full moon. Last Sunday was considered the snow moon. And the reason it's considered the snow moon is because February tends to be the snowiest month. And so in indigenous cultures, they called it the snow moon because it was the snowiest month. It was hard to gather food, and it was also hard to travel. And so they had no other choice but to just lay low and do nothing. And the snow moon really kind of teaches us that it's okay. Like, we have to just do nothing. Well, the other thing that it coincided with was the year of the snake in the Chinese Zodiac. And that the year of the snake, I think its last day was last Sunday also. I might be getting my days a couple days off, so don't 100% quote me, but you'll get the idea. So the year of the snake coincided with the snow moon, and the year of the snake means that the snake needs time to shed. So the snake has to also stop its movement, have to slow its movement down in order to shed. And so the year of the snake exits by the and these are, what do you call it? Is it not proverbial? What's the word I'm thinking of? The lore, I guess, is that the snake has to calm down to shed. And then we enter the year of the horse. And the year of the horse is movement, resilience, and energy. So this coinciding of the snow moon with the shedding of the snake, I thought was really interesting because it reminds us that as humans, we are not supposed to be driving not driving a car, but just driving our bodies and driving our health and our brains, our mind, our body, our spirit. We're not supposed to be driving hard like that in the winter, like we do in the summer. So what happened was last Sunday, I woke up and I was not feeling great. I had gone to yoga the day before. I had a little vertigo. I was a little nauseous, and I went to class and I came home. I really didn't do much for the rest of the day. And I woke up on Sunday and I was feeling so drained out that I went straight from bed to the couch, which is also why I wasn't here last week. So even though I'm not feeling 100% today, last week my brain wasn't working. I was flat on the couch all day. So I apologize for not being here, but I needed to rest, as the snow moon teaches us. So I did that. And the interesting thing is I wasn't really coinciding the fact that I was feeling like this. I didn't feel like I had a choice. My body was just like sacked. And so, I realized that then it's coinciding with this full moon, this snow moon, the year of the snake, and all of these things coming and crashing together. So as the week progressed, all of my patients are coming in and they're talking about, oh my God, I'm exhausted this week. I can't think straight. I'm not sleeping well. So this whole thing is so energetically powerful. And this is why I wanted to talk about this tonight, because it's so timely. February is typically where I know for me personally, this is the month I want to break up with February. I want to go sit on the equator somewhere. I want to get the hell out of here and I want to go somewhere warm. And, people are coming into the office and they're like, I'm over it. And, people are getting mad about the weather. I'm not really mad about it. I know I live here in Michigan. I know I have to deal with it. I don't really complain. But when you get into a state where I'm paying attention that each and every year I feel like this, and it feels like it gets a little worse every year. So now it's okay. Now what do you do to take care of your health? So I haven't been able to break up with February yet. I haven't been able to leave for a month and go sit on the equator. I have a business. I've got my daughter. I've got my house. So these aren't options for me. So what do we do? And I'm sure they're not options for you either. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is what do we do? What do we do instead? The first thing is I want you to realize that we are not designed to drive ourselves in winter the same way we drive ourselves in the summer. We just do not have our bodies we don't work that way, because if you think primitively about our DNA as humans, our bodies still are thinking the sun goes down early, the days are shorter. So our bodies are kind of still thinking inside that we have to calm down. We don't have as much time to be daylight, to be outside and doing all of these things. And this is often why too, when it comes to food, that people end up getting fatter in the winter, because you go for the comfort food. You eat, there's, again, if you think primitively, they're going to, let's talk about squirrels and bears and animals, and they try to get all of their food that they possibly can, and then they go hibernate. Well, then for us, we're like, oh my God, my body's somehow telling me it needs to hibernate. I better eat a ton of food when we're not going to go hibernate. So there's this weird mental thing that happens that forces us to eat all these comfort foods that aren't good for us. And then we get fat, and then we try to spend all summer getting the weight off. So as we move into, I think we are past. So we're starting to get more daylight now, which is great. By the end of February, we will have gained, I think, 70 minutes of daylight. So there's positives there. So I want you to start thinking about, okay, we've come out the other side. We've been through the darkest part of it. And if you're feeling it, I want to know. So let me know in the comments if you are feeling this fatigue and this brain fog, and just feeling the effects of not being able to be outside as much, not being able to get as much sunlight. Our bodies are whatever vitamin D you gained in the summer, the tank is empty. It's really starting to empty out, and we can take vitamin D. I take it every day, but there is no substitute for being out in nature, being outside, being able to move regularly, see the sun, and have those longer days. So I'm so sorry. Oh my God, hold on. Okay, try not to cough. All right. So this is also where people tend to beat themselves up. So I sat on the couch all day last Sunday, and there could have been a little bit of, that little voice going, you should really be doing something. You should get up and do something. You should do. And really, honestly, I was tinkering around on my computer, and I was doing a little marketing and posting and things like that. But I wasn't, I wasn't thinking too hard. I wasn't trying to force myself to think a whole lot. So don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. And it's really that your nervous system needs to know that it's safe to calm down. It's safe to slow down. And, winter burnout and this seasonal affective disorder, it's a thing. But not everyone is clinically depressed, but we all feel some of the effects of it. And so, just because you don't have a clinical diagnosis of seasonal affective disorder doesn't mean you're not affected. And you don't need to have a diagnosis of seasonal affective disorder in order to give relevance to how you're feeling. So morning, Lily, welcome in. And yeah, so let me welcome you guys in here. If you are watching from my channel, please jump over to It's All About the Biology and give them a subscribe. And if you're watching from It's All About the Biology, go ahead and jump on over to my channel and please subscribe over here. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure that wherever you're watching from, you leave a thumbs up and jump on in, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you and hear your thoughts. Are you feeling the effects of this weather? Okay. Lily says, a friend of mine is affected by seasonal affective disorder, and she has a special lamp for winter use. And I've suggested that often on the show, as you get those sunlight lamps. So, you hear all these gurus, and they're talking about, get outside and get sunlight. And, the dog is waking me up between 6 and 6:30 every morning. And honestly, I'm kind of starting to wake up at that time anyway. Again, I think my body's starting to now prepare for the next seasonal change that's coming along. So I don't fight it. If I'm awake at 6, I'll snuggle with the dog for a few minutes, and then I'll get out of bed and I'll, just start my day. So I don't fight it and try to stay in bed. And just get up and get my day going. Hey, Mary Lou, happy Sunday to you too. So nice to see you in here. I love me some Mary Lou. So as we start to think about this, that, these influencers, these gurus, and they say, get up and go outside within, 15 to 30 minutes of waking up and go outside and look at the sky and stare at the sun. And I'm like, I'm not doing that at 4 degrees. I am just not doing that. So, what you can do is and here's what I do, especially if I wake up at 6, it's still dark outside. It's kind of starting to twilight a little bit. Is twilight the morning or the evening? I don't know. You guys know what I mean? And so I turn on a couple of table lamps and I've got incandescent bulbs. And if you can find incandescent bulbs, that's also a great way. That has the spectrum of light that your brain loves. So I turn on lamps. I don't go turning on all the lights in the house right away because that feels like a shock to my brain. So I turn on lamps and I start. So much like the day opens with light, it's very slow. And much like the day ends with light, it's very slow. Think of it like that when you get up in the morning and just turn on some lamps. You could turn on some other lights in the house, but I don't know that I'd shock your system. So we still want to get this nice rise of our cortisol going. We don't really want to shock it. And then also this slow decline of your melatonin as you wake up. Put melatonin to bed. So I would start doing that. The other thing I always recommend is making sure that you're drinking a big glass of water, making sure you get hydrated first thing in the morning. And then you can do things like you could do a guided meditation that starts your deep breathing. Deep breathing is helpful to get your day started as well. And you can also do some stretching. So gentle yoga stretching, even just stretching to the ceiling and gently bending over and just hanging at your waist, stretching out your back, going back up, doing that again. So think of the morning as it's a slow start to your day. It's slow and gentle. And like I said, we're not gonna be able to get out and view that sunlight to get things going. And so on the flip side, at night, so here at 6:15, which is, I'm looking outside and the sun is setting. So it's still a little light out, but it's 6:15. As soon as I'm done with this show, I turn off all my screens and I'm going to go watch the Olympics. So I'm going to leave my big screen on, but I'm going to turn off my brain. I'm going to start to relax. I'm really just going to kind of like shut it down for the night. So same thing. You don't want to have all the lights on in your house when it's starting to get calm. If you came in my house right now, the only lights on, I have a lamp right here in front of me and I have a little light to my left. I'll have one lamp on in the living room. I won't have all these bright lights on. So you want to use your artificial light as a way to slowly start your day and then as a way to end the day. And that's going to be a lot calmer on your brain and on your hormones. And, if you think about, a lot of people ask me, are naps good? I think some people are nappers and some people aren't. I'm not typically a napper. So as much as I was on the couch all day last Sunday and a lot of today, I just don't nap. I'm not tired enough to nap, but I'm tired enough to lay down and just chill out. So if you're a napper, great, nap. If you're not, then just rest. Just, don't try not to drive your body too hard. So other things that we experience during this time of year is fatigue, brain fog, poor sleep, increased inflammation or pain. And that's because when you don't sleep, it actually changes your blood sugar regulation. It changes your gut. And when that happens, it causes inflammation, and more inflammation causes pain. That also, when it changes your blood sugar regulation, it causes cravings. So sugar, that's where we get our sugar cravings. And then blood sugar changing the microbiome creates mood changes. And when you get those mood changes, your motivation changes. So you can see this like vicious circle. So think about adapting to the season rather than fighting the season. I think too many of us are trying to be as productive at this time of year as we are in the middle of July. And you just have to respect your body for that. And there's things that you can do. I'm actually teaching a workshop on time blocking and putting boundaries around your time and your schedule so that you can still feel like you're being productive without feeling like you're behind. And I think that's where a lot of us are, is that we feel like if we're not going, we feel unproductive. Oh my God, I didn't get such and such done. And it's all, the work's going to be there. It's always going to be there. Lily says, it really feels like spring here when it should be winter conditions. It's messing with my circadian. And think about that too. When the warmth comes in earlier than it should, your flowers start coming up. We got there's over a foot of snow outside. So I don't think any flowers are coming up out there. We've been getting hammered with with snow. So, all right, let me move through my notes here. I have a note here about the snake versus the horse. We can't run until we shed. So that was that calming down, shedding the skin of the snake. And now in the year of the horse, we've got movement and momentum. I mean, like game on 2026, let's go. But we've got to regulate our nervous systems before we can hit that accelerator. And otherwise we get more burnout. So think about that. So what are some realistic ways that you can support your nervous system in the winter? And you can get that light if you, they're on Amazon. You can get the sunlight lamps, and those do the same thing. They do this slow, light. It's a slow, gradual lighting of your room. And, that's a great way to wake up. So, and I think it's full spectrum. So it's not like a LED light or something like that. All right. Let's see. So guided stillness instead of forced energy. And that's where I was saying that your nervous system needs to know that it's safe in order for your brain to be able to create, for your brain to be able to think clearly. And so, you always hear me say that we are living like we are running from a saber-toothed tiger all the time. And if we're running from a saber-toothed tiger, the body does not feel safe to heal, to think, to create, to relate. Your mood's going to be altered. Your digestion's going to be completely out of whack. Your immune system's going to be compromised. Think about it. If you're running from that tiger, your body doesn't care that you have a cold. It just wants to save your life. So that is another reason that if you've got a sniffle, a cold, a sore throat, I'm not going to go to a Super Bowl party tonight, and I don't really care anyway, but I need my body to know that it's safe. I need to not stress myself out. I need my body to feel calm and relaxed in order to know that my immune system can then have the most power that it needs to fight off whatever this is. So other things that can help you in the morning, and these are actually even good practices in the evening, is a warm shower. Some people will say turn the cold water on too. If you're a cold water person, like a cold plunger, and that is not me, especially in the winter. So warm showers are always nice. Splashing cold water on your face was always something that I've always done growing up. And so that actually, I would take a hot shower and then I'd splash cold water on my face. That's quite invigorating. A warm beverage, I think that's why a lot of us go for coffee. I've been drinking tea all day. Again, I wasn't feeling great. And so coffee didn't sound good to me. So that's where the tea comes in. And then of course, sitting quietly, don't get up right away and turn the news on or look at your phone. Just sort of like sit with the morning, sit with the quiet of the morning. I mean, that calmness to your nervous system when you just sort of like allow the day to unfold without you rushing into it, it's so nurturing or nourishing to your nervous system. I mean, think about when you wake up in the morning, if you have a dog or a cat, dog or cat gets up, what's the first thing they do? They stretch. They don't get up and just sprint. They don't get up and stretch and then run. They get up and they stretch and then they move and then they yawn and then they come up and then they lay on you and they want you to pet them. I mean, take a lesson from your dog or cat. So, hi, Lily. You jumping over to which channel? Okay, so which channel are you here? I'm curious because your name is in black on this one. What really calms me? Yes, listening to the birds in the morning. That's one of my favorite things to do when I first start hearing the birds is go outside. So I will do that when I can go outside, and I just listen to the birds and I sit with the dog outside. And I just, take in the quiet of the morning and I pet the dog and I listen to the birds. And yeah, it's a great, great way to start your day. So stress also when you're running from that tiger, the reason we have our cravings is because your body is looking for energy. And if you are stressed, people say, I'm a stress eater. And if you find yourself craving sweets or carbohydrates, it's because your body is looking for energy so you can run from the tiger. So you have to pay attention to those. These are signals that your body isn't, you don't just have cravings for no reason. Your body is looking for something. There's a reason for that. So your gut is out of balance. Your stress management is out of balance. And this is a great time to slow down in the summer and start to pay attention to that. When you're having processed foods, high sugar meals, you're giving the body the energy that it wants, but you're fueling more inflammation. You're fueling the bad bugs in your gut. You're feeding the very things that are creating cravings for you. So don't compromise your nervous system with the cravings. And I heard this really interesting perspective on, let's just say it. Let's see. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm on this chat. However, I went to your chat. Oh, okay. So so when you're blue, your name is blue. Your name is black. You have black and blue. When your name is blue, you are on It's All About the Biology. And then when your name is black, that means you were over on my channel. Okay. Very interesting. Perfect. Now we know. Okay. So I heard this really interesting take on, let's just call it a donut. I don't know. Food's easy to pick on when you talk about these analogies. So let's say you really want the donut and you are thinking, I really want this donut. I feel terrible because I want it, but when you eat it, you're going to feel terrible. So if the feeling is terrible, if you know you're going to feel terrible eating it or not eating it, then just take the feeling of not eating it. Just don't eat it, because you're going to have that feeling anyway. Then you're going to probably even more guilty after the fact. So yeah, it's like, I'm disappointed that I can't eat the donut, but then I'm disappointed that I ate the donut. I mean, you guys get it? Like, think about that. So start asking yourself those kinds of things. Is if your feeling is disappointment anyway, or guilt or whatever, then just you've got it, but you don't have to adulterate yourself in order to have that feeling. Okay, so then we get to, and especially with our nervous system dysregulation in the winter like this, I normally would have gone to get adjusted yesterday, but I changed my schedule a little bit to go to yoga at a different place with a friend. And so I did not get my adjustment this week. I don't know if that's why I'm sick, because I count on my weekly adjustments to help keep me healthy. But I did get adjusted last Saturday, and I still wasn't feeling good on Sunday. So something is going on. Again, circadian rhythm. Am I getting all my nutrients? I feel like I am. I upped all of my supplements. So just start paying attention to, if you're feeling like that, what are all the different ways you can double down on it? More water, more nutrients, more movement, more mindset, more deep breathing, more exercise. Go, I keep saying, go walk in the big box stores, go walk at the mall, go to the gym. So keep moving forward. It sucks. We don't want to go out in the cold. I get it, but you got to do it anyway, right? So with chiropractic, that's our whole premise, is that chiropractic adjustments actually help that nervous system dysregulation. It moves you from that fight or flight. It moves you from, you're being chased by the saber-tooth tiger. It removes that noise. It removes that feeling of, I don't feel safe. And it helps the body to feel safe and supported. And which means that now it's going to help your mood. It's going to help your whole nervous system regulation. And people just start to feel better. They do feel calmer. They sleep better. Their brains work better. So chiropractic is a very important piece when it comes to these types of chronic and recurring, I guess, seasonal issues that we have. I mean, winter's not going away unless you move to the Caribbean or something. So it's you guys got to start paying attention to it. And I have a patient that he sent me a message. So was it Friday night? I think it was Friday night. It could have been Saturday. I don't remember. But he sent me a message, and he had these dark circles under his eyes. And he said, do you think that, because I adjust his sinuses too. And he said, do you think we bruised my sinuses? And I said, oh my gosh. And then I actually called him, because I said, it makes sense to me now. He was coming in with, so he gets these kind of jitters. He's young. He's really young, like 30-ish young. And he gets these jitters where it's like his body, like he can't stop this sort of like vibration in his body. And he's had that for the last couple of months. And he's had it before, but we've gotten rid of it through chiropractic, through nutrition, functional medicine, and it came back. And then he's telling me he's been working out, and he said, I'm just exhausted. Like he was doing legs, and he goes, oh my God, my legs were just cooked from the jump. And my recovery, and that's another problem he's always had, is inability to recover properly from workouts. And that's a mitochondrial issue. So when your mitochondria struggles, everything in your body, your repair, your nervous system regulation, everything is going to struggle. And so we've got to fuel the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of your cell. It's where all your energy is created. And when you have poor mitochondrial health, your ability to regulate, your ability to recover is going to be very poor. And poor mitochondrial health also lends itself to a lot of diseases, autoimmune issues. He does have colitis or Crohn's. I think it's colitis, ulcerative colitis. So that he's got an autoimmune issue there. His whole family has autoimmune issues. And so when he asked me, do you think the adjustment could have bruised my sinuses? It was like all of a sudden my brain went, oh, shoot. And all these things started to add up for me about him. So I called him and I said, I wouldn't call too many people at 8:00 on Friday night. But I said, I said, the light bulb came on. And then I flashed forward. I said, listen, I have so many patients that I work with who are older, who come to me when they're older, who will tell me about what their health was like when they were your age. And I said, I don't want you to be that person in 30 years. And so we're regrouping. We're going to do, we haven't done any blood work in the last couple of years on him. I think he's kind of slipped off of his food plan. We got to get him on some specific nutrients that were helping, and then he ran out. And so it's just those things. When I see that kind of a picture, and this is what winter can reveal, is it, again, if it gets worse and you're not able to pull out of it, there's something in the bigger picture, because we are designed also to survive the element. I mean, obviously people died in the winter because they didn't have proper food and shelter, but you guys get it. We're designed to live through winter, and then we're designed to thrive in summer. So what happens is as we go through this and we start to push ourselves so hard, and it reveals more chronic diseases throughout the winter, that should be a signal. That should be a signal to you. Also, if you've struggled with things and you're like, I just never knew that was a problem, or I was regulating it with medication, or I regulate it with, or I don't regulate it at all. I don't even know what to do with it. So I just live with it. And I've had people tell me, oh gosh, my health was in a crisis before I found a chiropractor and somebody who did functional medicine, and that saved my life. So I say that to you to tell you to pay attention, that when you are in winter, if you are not being mindful of the things that your body is telling you it needs, the signals, not the symptoms. Symptoms are signals. I think the word symptom it becomes white noise, and we don't pay enough attention to the symptoms, because you know what we can do with symptoms? We can give them medication. That's how medications are given. A cluster of symptoms then qualifies for a certain drug. You guys, they're signals. They are signals. They are alarm bells going off in your body, and your body is screaming for help. And it's doable, but then it's not, you can't unwind it overnight, but you do need to start. You need to take a step in the forward direction. You need to make sure that you're moving your health, making decisions each and every day. What, is this going to harm me, or is this going to hurt me? And start moving your health in that forward direction. And if you're living your life 80 to 90% of all the good things, then you have a buffer. You have, you can stay up later if you wanted to, a night here or there. Can't do that too much, because the body will talk to you. The body will give you a signal that it's not, it doesn't quite like that, but that kind of consistency is what starts to move the needle. So Lily says, nature has the seasons, so do we. Winter is a time of rest, Winter is a time to rest, just as nature is resting. Yeah, I mean, my garden's resting. My the flowers are resting. You know, if you've got perennials, they're resting right now. They're not doing anything. They're storing energy in the ground. And then when the conditions get right, they're going to start to peek their heads up. And I want you to start thinking about your health in that very same way, and how many of you out there are just driving yourselves into the ground. You're expecting July progress and energy in February, and that is not realistic. We have to stop that. So pay attention to the signals. All right. So excuse me. I've got there's a link in the comments, in the show notes with my newsletter. So you can jump down there and you can sign up for my newsletter, and, you know, I send you all this kind of stuff. I usually will send, like, I'll do this video, the email for this video went out today, telling everybody to tune in tonight. So then the next email that will go out, and it has a little bit of expanded version of what we talk about on Sundays, as well as any other timely things that happen during the week that we need to discuss. So just trying to keep you guys, help you to think about things in a little bit different, from a little different lens, that will help to improve how you view yourselves, and also that, being so hard on yourself. And we really get down on ourselves at this time. We're like, oh, I want to be doing more, but no, forget it. It's like, just stop, just slow down and go binge watch. What did I binge watch? Emily in Paris is what I've been binge watching. That's been my latest binge. Super dumb show, but very, very cute. So, all right. I think based on how my throat is doing, I did get through all my notes. And so I did just want to keep it a little shorter, just so I didn't have to talk too much. I'm going to go rest my throat for the night so I can get up and hopefully have all the energy I need to go to work tomorrow. So, all right, you guys, I love having you here. I always love to see you in the comments. I appreciate you tuning in. So don't forget to join us on Thursday for Thursday Night Live. And I'll be back here on Sunday, hopefully with a much better throat and a full show again for you then. So, all right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Talk to you soon.